Can you believe that for most of Major League Baseball's history, the idea of Japanese baseball players starring in the league wasn't just rare, it was almost unimaginable? Today, it feels completely normal to see superstars from Japan and all over the world dominating the sport, filling stadiums and captivating global audiences. But the path to reality is a long, fascinating story about broken barriers, perceptions changing, and talent forced making the Major League Baseball make adjustments to expand their view to the horizons. The relationship between Japanese baseball and Major League Baseball goes back more than a century, but for decades it was largely limited to exhibitions and cultural exchanges rather than player movement. Japan developed its own elite professional league, the MPB, which became incredibly competitive and deeply rooted in a national identity. For a long time, Japanese stars stayed in Japan, and MLB teams largely overlooked them, unsure whether their success would translate to the American game. Every once in a while, there would be large barnstorming events of U.S. players going over to Japan or Japanese players coming to the U.S., and the pair would play each other. Most famously, Babe Ruth and the Busting Babes would take on a Japanese team in a friendly matchup. Players including not just Babe Ruth, but Lou Gehrig and coached by Connie Mack, it would bring the United States Baseball League into Japan. Though Babe Ruth and the U.S. team would dominate the Japanese team, questions began to arise whether or not a Japanese player could come to the U.S. and have success. That's where Mashi Murakami comes in. He was the first Japanese baseball player to play in the major leagues. He was a left-handed pitcher, and he would make his debut on September 1st, 1964, at the age of 20 for the San Francisco Giants. He would only play 2 seasons before returning to Japan. Though he did not play very long in the U.S., Murakami proved that a Japanese player could translate into Major League Baseball. In his first season, he would have one win with a 1.80 ERA in 15 innings pitched, and in his second season, he would have gone 4-1 with 8 saves and an ERA of 3.75. These, though not astronomically great statistics, proved that he could stick around in the league. However, due to contract negotiations and a dispute with the Japanese Baseball League, he would leave and go back to Japan. This would put a pause on Japanese players coming to the U.S., as understanding cultural differences and also contract negotiations would become key for player development and addition. The door wouldn't truly open until 1995 with the arrival of Hideo Nomo, one of the most famous Japanese players. Nomo didn't just come over quietly, he exploded onto the scene. Using a contractual loophole, he left Japan and signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers and immediately became one of the most exciting pitchers in baseball. His rookie season was electric. He won Rookie of the Year, started the All-Star game, and triggered what became known as Nomo Mania, a wave of excitement that extended across the US and Japan. But most importantly, Nomo changed minds. Before him, many executives doubted whether or not a Japanese player could succeed at the highest level. His dominance proved they could. Not only did he compete, but he excelled. His success also helped lead to formal systems like the posting system, which allowed NPB players to move to the MLB in a structured, contractual way. In many ways, Nomo didn't just open the door, he kicked it down. Following Nomo, a handful of other Japanese pitchers would make their way to the major leagues. But the Nomo insanity was nothing for what would follow. Ichiro Suzuki would arrive to Major League Baseball in 2001, signing with the Seattle Mariners. There was so much skepticism around his signing. Could a contact hitter from Japan actually succeed in Major League Baseball? At the time period, baseball was a home run hitting sport. Could he actually handle 162 games? Well, Ichiro answered all of those questions in what's considered to be one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. He would hit 350, stole 56 bases, and become only the second player in Major League Baseball to win both Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. Ichiro didn't just succeed, he dominated. He would go on to collect over 3,000 hits in Major League Baseball and set the single season hit record at 262. Many considered he would become the greatest baseball player of all time if he would have just played his entire career in Major League Baseball. Pete Rose's hit record would no longer stand if Ichiro Suzuki played his first game day one when he was a young teenager in Major League Baseball. His style of speed, precision, and defense was what made him different. It was an era of power heavy hitting, and he captivated fans worldwide because he shattered the stereotype of what a baseball player was during the time period. After Ichiro, it opened the pipeline. Superstars across the board, like Hideki Matsui, World Series MVP and former New York Yankee, Yu Darvish, and even Tanaka, would become household names for their teams. Active scouting became a main thing in Japan, with major league teams sending over scouts to look at players. The influx of talent didn't just improve teams, it changed the structure of baseball as a global sport. MLB games now draw international audiences, especially with Japan. The teams even go over there to have games every once in a while to kickstart the major league season. It's become a modern era world revolution of Major League Baseball. And all because of this start, all because of players like Hideo Nomo who opened the doors. Players like Shohei Ohtani now succeed and become a global superstar. Ohtani has taken it to the next level. He's taken Major League Baseball even further. He's done what Nomo and Ichiro did, but put it together. As an MVP and a potential Cy Young winner, Shohei Ohtani has opened even more doors with popularity and excitement for international baseball. It's clear that this will continue throughout the next decade, and Japanese baseball will become more and more important. In the 90s, Sports Illustrated wrote an article about how one day Major League Baseball and the MPB would combine to have an actual World Series, no longer just a World Series in the US. And if the Japanese talent continues, we may eventually see that. Many say that's what the World Baseball Classic has become, but people want more. People want to see their teams take on the world's best. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below your favorite Japanese player to play in the MLB. Thanks so much. We appreciate all of you.